Hi guys, so thanks for getting on the Zoom call. So we've got Charlotte, who's an IMD Club 100. Some of us were lucky enough to meet her yesterday, but for those of you that weren't, she's going to go through sort of her brief story and how she got to the positions as quickly as she did. So Charlotte, can you give us a brief outline of your story in terms of how you got to your position so quickly? And if you don't mind, what your biggest check was or your earnings?
Yeah, because I didn't share that yesterday, but yeah, that's fine. So those that weren't at the meeting yesterday, obviously I'm Charlotte, I'm an international marketing director. I'm now Club 100 for Juice Plus. I joined the business in April of 2014, and I joined through Olivia Measures. I joined the business for completely different reasons. I knew nothing about the products. I didn't want to get on the products. I didn't want to lose weight. I basically joined because my upline, Olivia, was posting on Twitter and was just talking about the business opportunity, what the business has allowed her to do, the lifestyle that it's given her. And that's what I wanted from the business. I wanted to have this lifestyle where I could go shopping, buy whatever I wanted to buy without having to look at the price tag. Like that's what I always wanted from this job. So I joined the business. I did not even hesitate. I wasn't one of these that was really umming and ahhing, was really skeptical about the business. I just literally saw her post and was like, right, that's it, I'm joining. So I joined the business on the 14th of April, and within 2 weeks I went SDD, and then in 2 months later I went QNMD. So my business literally flew from being a DLR to a qualified national marketing director within 2 months. This obviously is like a huge, massive achievement, but it actually didn't do me any justice. Those obviously heard me yesterday. I really struggled when I got to QNMD within 2 months. My business came to a complete standstill, and that was because I'd skipped so many positions and I just flew to the top. I didn't learn enough about the business that I needed to know. So I basically had to take myself back to basics, had to tell myself every single day that I was a DLR and I just joined the business. So I then was really struggling, couldn't progress my business anymore. I was having one of them moments that everyone has where I'm like, oh, what's the point in this business? I feel like I'm not getting anywhere. And then my upline Olivia literally said to me, look, Charlotte, get yourself along to events build your business, you need to come. And yet again, I was one of these people that works full time. I would get in from work, really couldn't be bothered to go to an event, and I didn't think they would benefit my business. I always made excuses that I was too tired, I couldn't be bothered, I had nothing to wear, all of them crap excuses. Until Olivia said to me, oh, Charlotte, there's an event literally around the corner from your house, like please go to it. So because it was literally on my doorstep, I had no excuse and I just took myself along. It was at Epsom Playhouse, and I walked in the room and there was 5 people in this room, and I was like, oh my God, why am I even here? There's 5 people. I'm not going to learn. I'm not going to benefit being here. What is the point? But amongst them 5 people was Emma Karen. If you don't know Emma Karen is an absolute babe. She is a PMD in the business. Her business is absolutely massive. She now lives a life in Jamaica. And she was sharing her story, and that's what gave me my light bulb moment. That's when I knew that I had to make some massive changes to my business. So I came back from that event as a QNMD, and I just spent absolute ages concentrating on building my business, recruiting new team members, selling the product, becoming a product of the product. So I got myself on the products to have a product story to share. And I feel like if you're not a part of the product, you don't have a story. So you're not really going to be that successful in the business. So I then smashed it to National Marketing Director in the January of 2015. And then 4 months later, I hit International Marketing Director. But within hitting NMD and IMD, I literally came across like the worst point in my life. I was a full-time nanny. I still am a full-time nanny. I still do it now. And I work 45 to 50 hours a week. So I've managed to build my part-time business while working full-time. And last February, I went national marketing director, and I went to the Birmingham convention, which is very similar to the Bournemouth convention coming up. And I had to go up on stage as a new NMD. And for those that were at the event yesterday, Harriet was telling us our do's and our don'ts, and I was so nervous, and I told people I was nervous. And even though Harriet said that you don't do this, I did that because I literally could not speak. It took me to get drunk backstage to get myself up there. I couldn't do it. But anyway, I did it. I came off stage and I felt so good. I felt so amazing that I'd been able to kind of share my story, apart from like the odd slur here and there. I was able to share my story to so many people, and that just kind of changed my whole view on the business. So I came home, and I wanted to go full time. I sat down with my mum and dad, told my mum and dad that I was going to go full time with the business. What do they think that I should do? And their attitude was, look, Charlotte, if you want to go full time, you've got to do it for yourself. If you want this business as much as you say you do, you've got to put your everything into it. You've got to grab the business with both hands and run with it. You can't treat this as a part-time business if you're going to go full time. So as I was about to go full time, the little boy that I nanny was then diagnosed with cancer. So I decided, obviously, my heart was with him, and I stayed on full time. So I then that was my rock bottom in the business. And everyone has a rock bottom where you feel like you can't do it anymore. You want to give up. You don't feel like you're progressing. And that was my moment when I wanted to quit. But instead of me being really miserable and down in the dumps for weeks and weeks, I decided to use the business as my why to help me and help the little boy that I nanny. So that helped me. It basically motivated me every single day to build. So this happened in the February, and then by the June, I was an international marketing director. I went to Marbella retreat last year with Juice Plus. For those that went this year, we all went back there, and it was absolutely amazing. But I went there last year, and I was having a chat with Katie Ravey, who's another PMD in the business, about my business and where my business was going. And she basically gave me a few top tips on what she thought that I should put into practice when I came home. And one of those was to concentrate on my clubs. So for those that know what a club is, obviously you heard more in detail yesterday, but for those that don't, a club is an SDD in your business. So I literally concentrated on recruiting non-stop and getting everyone in my business to SDD so I could just build my clubs. So this was last June, and then June this year I went Club 100. So that's basically my story and how my business has completely changed. The pay side of it, obviously, at the beginning of the business, I wasn't interested in the money. I didn't join the business because I wanted to get thousands and thousands of pounds a month. I literally just joined the business because I wanted to have this lifestyle where I wanted to go to these really posh conventions and just feel really cool to be a part of it. I wanted to go out and buy a new dress, buy a new pair of heels. I wanted all these like makeup parlors and all this beauty thing that comes with it, and that's what I wanted. But I joined business. Obviously the business is £50, and at the time I didn't have the £50. I had to literally beg my mum to borrow me the money because I didn't have it. Well, in my first month, so within 2 weeks of the business, I took home £450. So from spending £50 and then 2 weeks later earning £450, for me that was it. I knew for a fact I was not going to leave this business. When I went NMD and I reconfirmed national marketing director, my pay was £13,500. That was with my bonus. And I literally remember ringing my mum, crying my eyes out, like, Mum, I don't think this is right. Like, I think they're going to take this money away from me. And she kept going, look, Charlotte, you've worked your absolute arse off for this. This is actually happening. And I was like, oh my God. So then I hit international marketing director, and my pay with my IMD bonus came to £25,000. That was in one single month. And since January of this year, so for the last now 9 months, because we're 9 months, I haven't taken any less than 13,000, and obviously that is without a bonus. I haven't had any bonuses obviously since my international marketing director bonus, and that was last year. So yeah, that's it.
Thanks, Charlotte. So we've got some questions that the team have put together. So what's the best ways to recruit, and how do you attract team members?
So most of my team members are my customers to begin with. I have a massive team now. I have a team of over 40 direct downlines. Obviously not all of them work. I'd say probably half of them work, but I now have a team of over 3,000, and most of my downlines are my clients to begin with. And this is just because most of them haven't even approached me. It's been me that's approached them. If I have a customer that's got really, really, really good results and I think they'll just be amazing at the business, I just literally send them a message like, oh, hi hon, how you getting on? What's your results, like how are you feeling, what are the benefits you're gaining, all of this kind of stuff. And I think it's so important. I tell my team this all the time. You have to have a close relationship with your customers. You can't bring somebody in on the product and then just forget about them. Don't get me wrong, when I first joined the business, and obviously I flew to QNMD in 2 months, I was like, what the hell is going on? I had clients flying in left, right and centre. I was making over 50 personal sales a month, and I was just forgetting about my customers. And now I kick myself every single day because I did that, because them customers are the best distributors. They're going to be the ones that have got an amazing product story to share, and they're the ones that are going to just completely change your business. It only takes one diamond to change your whole business, and that's what happened to me. I just had customers that were doing so well on the product. I just introduced the business to them. I've now got my mum and my sister in the business. My mum was very, very not skeptical, but she didn't believe that the business would work for her because she was obviously a lot older. She didn't think that an older person would be very successful, and obviously she's been very wrong. Like, my mum's done amazing. She's now an SE in the business, and she's doing really, really well. So that's how I've got my team members. They've just been all my customers to begin with.
Thank you. We've got another question. What do you do if you feel stuck?
So if I feel stuck, as in the business, or do you mean like everything in general, or
business?
Okay, so if I feel stuck with the business, and I have felt like this loads and loads of times, I drag myself to an event. And obviously at the beginning of my business, I didn't think events were worth it. I didn't want to do them. But events change your whole business. If you was to take the time to attend 2 to 4 events a month, your business will change completely. Every single event I go to, I learn something new that I didn't know before. Like I said at the event yesterday, at the training event yesterday that you guys had, I took away so much from being there. Obviously, I went there with an open mind that obviously I was going to be a guest speaker, but I actually took more away than I've ever taken. So I always, if I get stuck, I always get myself along to an event. Like, no, it doesn't matter where it could be. I make the time. I travel. I go. I try and always drag along a team member with me, or somebody that's interested in the business. Another good thing is just going on YouTube. Like, I've done this loads of random nights, even just sitting here with Dane. Like, we'll just look at John Holowati on YouTube and just watch his videos, and it just gives you such a buzz, and you come off from watching him like, oh my god, yeah, I can do this, I can do that, and you just take tips from them. So listening to other leaders in the business is also a really good way.
I know a lot of us, I know a few of us spoke to you about this yesterday, but what are your favourite apps?
Oh, Every Post. Every Post is an amazing app for those that work full time. Obviously I work full time. I have throughout the whole of my Juice Plus business, and obviously there's days where I find it impossible to get on my phone, especially when Charlie's been in hospital for treatment. And I haven't been able to obviously get on my phone because I'm stuck in a hospital room and all of this. So Every Post is absolutely amazing for that. All you basically do is you write a status, you can attach a picture, everything else. Sorry, my brother's just been really annoying. So yeah, you can you write the status, you can attach a picture, you can attach a quote, whatever you want to do. And the best thing about it is it links to Instagram, Twitter and Facebook. So if you've got all 3 apps, it can post on all of them at the same time. You can do every post for like up to a week in advance. So if you're really busy and you're just like laying in bed, you could prepare your post for tomorrow, for Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and not have to worry about posting because it will automatically do it for you. And then I do like the apps where like you can make really cool picture collages and like font candy and all of those, because I think making your pictures look pretty makes your post stands out more. But Harriet knows about that. Harriet's very good at making those things.
She is. So the next question we've got, what's your favourite thing about the business?
My favourite thing about the business would be the people that you meet. And that is just 100% hands down my favourite thing about this business. I had, like I explained yesterday, I had so many people, so many friends before this business that I thought were real, that I thought were my true friends. And it wasn't until I joined this business that I realised that they are so fake. And joining this business has made me realise actually who is real and who isn't. And I have come across so many friends that were my friends that because I've come into a business that's given me income, that's given me financial freedom, that's given me a lifestyle that they haven't got, instead of them jumping on the bandwagon and being a part of my business, they've actually gone the other way and been very jealous and very selfish about the situation. So obviously them people are no longer in my life and have been completely cut out. But the friendships that I gained in the business are just absolutely priceless. It's like I was saying yesterday, Harriet and Dan are nothing to do with my business. And I'm not just saying that because it's their Zoom call, but Harriet and Dan are nothing to do with me. I'm nothing to do with them. But the friendship that we've gained and that we've created is something else. Like we live 3 hours away from each other, but since June, we've seen each other 4 or 5 times. And we do things outside the business. So obviously, like me and my boyfriend came up to Bath not that long ago. We do things as like little double dates, and it's just so nice to have people that want the same as you, that want to be successful as you, and you can actually help each other out instead of being jealous and not helping one another.
Thanks. So the next question we've got is, what was your turning point in the business or your light bulb moment? I know you spoke about it a bit in your story.
Yeah, so don't Snapchat me. My light bulb moment would definitely 100% be when I went to my first event in Epsom, because before that I knew I was doing well at the business. I knew I started to earn this money. I knew that my life was changing, but I didn't know actually what I was doing, if that makes sense. Because my business flew so quick, I didn't actually take the time to study and practice what I was doing. So when it comes to teaching my team members, in actual fact, I didn't really know what to tell them other than to tell them my story and what I was doing. So obviously that's what they've duplicated. But I think it's really hard, because that would definitely be my light bulb moment. But then also conventions, like the Bournemouth convention, if you're not going to it, I would 100% recommend get to it, because conventions, they just change your business even more than before. So that was definitely my light bulb moment, when I took myself and took the time out to go to that event. Even after working an 11-hour day, being tired, not being able to be bothered to go, just wanting to curl in bed and watch EastEnders, I took the time out and I went, and that's what changed my whole business. So now, if there's an event nearby, I will make sure I get to it, and I will try and take a potential along with me.
So the next question is, if you were a dealer again, what would you do to kickstart your business?
If I was a dealer again, I would change a few things. I would change the fact that I didn't go to events sooner, because events do literally change your business. I can't even express how much they change your business. Even if you don't run an event by yourself because you don't have the confidence, you're scared of public speaking, go to one. You don't always have to speak. But that would be my other thing that I would change when if I was a dealer is I would put myself out there more. So when I first joined the business, I was so shy, I was so quiet. You wouldn't believe it now, would you? But I hated public speaking. I wouldn't do it. If ever I went to an event and they went through like the business presentation, they were like, oh, is there an SSC in the room or a QNMD in the room? I purposely would walk out to go to the toilet because I did not want to public speak. And I think that's one thing that held me back at the beginning. And when I got stuck, I was like, I need to change this. I need to gain more confidence and be more comfortable with talking to clients, because at the end of the day, you're not going to gain a business if you're quiet, if you sit back. So also I've only just started doing this, like I was saying, like the last 6 months, but instead of sitting behind a keyboard being a keyboard warrior and just typing to all my clients and all my team members, I now voice note them, because I think it makes it so much more personal to them, and they actually know from just hearing your voice that you're a real person. Like, I don't know about you lot, but if I just talk to someone all day long on Facebook Messenger, I'm like, oh my god, this person's a bit weird, or they're a bit rude. Like, messages can come across very wrong, where if you're voice noting, they can see the excitement in your voice, they can see how much the business has changed your life, even by not meeting you, just by hearing your voice. So that's what I would change if I was to kick up my business again, is I would gain more confidence from the beginning, and I would go to more events.
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier, weren't we? About how voice noting, I've just changed from messaging people to voice noting. And
yeah,
because they can hear the tone of your voice.
Yeah, it makes such a difference. So I remember, obviously, like, voice noting recently is turning to like a massive thing, and obviously like Snapchat and stuff like that. But I remember when I first joined the business, I obviously joined for Olivia. I didn't know Olivia before the business, but I went like 6 months without even knowing who this human being was. And I started thinking to myself, I've never spoke to her on the phone. I've never even heard her voice. Like, what the hell does she look like in real life, and what does she sound like? And then the minute I met up with her, it just changed my whole opinion of her as a person. I think it just creates that relationship and makes that relationship stronger from the beginning. And it's definitely good for customers. If you've got like customers that are interested in the product but are in and are in, if you was to send them a voice note and to sound more comfortable with what you're speaking about and more confident about the products, then they're more likely to order from you if you make it more personal to them.
So we've got one more question which came through, I think like 5 minutes before the Zoom call. It was how to lead a team with inspiration.
I don't know how to answer that without being, I don't want to sound like really big-headed.
Right.
But I basically would say be a good leader. So like Harriet and Dan, they hold events for their team, they hold training events for their team, they take their time out for their team. You've got to be a good leader to have a successful team following you. You can't be one of these team members that sits back and doesn't post on Facebook, that doesn't make your own personal orders and expects your team to do it. That's just not going to be the right way to do it. So what was the question again?
How to lead a team with inspiration.
Yes, so I do that. I'll definitely do that. I'll just become Harriet and Dan. No, seriously, because they inspire me so much with what they do, like all the events that they host. Like, I do events, but I never ever host my own events. That sounds bad, me being an international marketing director, but where I live, events aren't a massive thing. I just attend events that I can get to, and I am guest speakers at lots of events, and I share my story. But off my own back, I don't really host my own events, but obviously Harriet and Dan have inspired me to do that because I've seen the success that comes out of it. So yeah, I would just copy your upline, guys, because they're the best people to copy.
Duplication.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you guys have?
No, I think the only thing I would say, is for everyone that's on the call, I mean, yesterday, the first thing that Amy did was when we had like a 5-minute break, was that she came up and she said, Charlotte, can I get your number? And that's sometimes I think it can seem a bit daunting to ask somebody who, like, because when people are NMD and above, you do think they're like celebrities. So it can be really daunting to sort of say, oh, can I ask you a question? But Charlotte's the best person to speak to because she's really approachable and she's like more than happy to help our team. So don't all bombard her at once, but intermittently, by all means, message her or use your initiative, even if it's not Charlotte, if it's someone else in the business that you relate to, find those people.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. It's obviously like, I didn't know Harriet before this business. It was only last year that I met Harriet and Dan in Marbella, and it was simply because I shared my story in Marbella when I was speaking, and Harriet approached me after and was like, oh, like, I could really relate to your story. I work full-time too. Like, can you give me a few tips? And it's only because we both worked full-time that we got on, that we had a similarity. So I think obviously I'm not saying like come and speak to me, because I'm definitely going to be able to help what you need help with. But if there's somebody in the business that's not in your team and you think they're going to benefit you, don't sit back, don't be shy, because this business, like I said yesterday, this business is more like a family. Everyone's there to help each other, and there isn't these people that are going to ignore your success and not help you. There are people out there that are going to help you, and obviously, like Harriet said, if any of you do need help, then feel free to message me, and obviously I'll try to help you as much as I can, or try to give you a few tips or whatever I possibly can. Did you want me to just go over my 5 top tips for those that weren't there yesterday?
Please, Han.
Okay, so hold on, let me just get them up because I always forget them, like word for word. So I read these out yesterday, but obviously those that weren't there wouldn't have heard them. So my 5 top tips are, my number 1 is 100% make sure you're always surrounding yourself with positive people who believe in you and help you believe in yourself. Because I don't, like I said at the beginning, I was surrounded by people that I thought were my friends, but actually they were just so negative about everything that I was doing. And in the end, they just made me feel negative. So make sure you're surrounding yourself by positive people who believe in you, and that will help you believe in yourself. Number 2, take and share the products. You've got to be on the journey yourself. Like I said earlier, I joined this business for completely different reasons, but I made sure I got on the products to make my business more successful, and I shared my own personal product story. Number 3, get yourself in the right mindset. It's never about if you meet your next promotion, it's when. That's obviously really, really good. Don't have it in your mind that, oh, am I going to hit this promotion this month? Am I going to do it next month? Oh, I might be a bit short. If it happens, it happens. If it don't, it don't. If you want that promotion, you will get that promotion and you will make that promotion happen. So don't ever say if. Number 4, make sure you never stop teaching yourself. Study, practice and teach, and put your team and clients before yourself. And number 5, no excuses for having no time. I work full time and make every minute count towards my business.
Amazing. Thank you. What else do you want to say?
I think that's pretty much it. I'm going to stop recording.
I want to have a photo of her and Dano.
Oh, okay.